I ended up watching Home Alone and Die Hard for the holiday. And also then I watched the latest Wonder Woman on HBO Max, and I watched Soul on Disney+.
We watched Soul yesterday. What'd you think?
I liked it. I thought it was really good.
I thought it was pretty cute. I made the mistake of suggesting that it's pretty cute to my family in a group text.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom came back and was like, there's no mention of God in the soul and the beauty of the soul. I was like, Jamie Foxx was really good. And if you're just looking for something fun, here it is. And never mind. No more movie suggestions from me. I thought Soul was going to be a short.
Oh, really? You didn't realize?
I was surprised that it was a movie. So I was like, wow, this is a really long short.
Yeah, so that's a full-length Pixar film on Disney+.
Yes.
And that one did come out Christmas Day also, right?
Yes, it did.
Wonder Woman was the one we really heard a lot of press about leading up to it. Maybe that's just because they upset like all of Hollywood.
Yeah.
You know, when they announced that they were going to release everything to HBO Max for the through 2021 or whatever. Maybe that's why it was on everyone's radar. I don't know.
Did you see the first Wonder Woman?
I did, yeah.
Okay, and so do you like number 2?
I'm liking it less and less. So when I watched it, I was like, okay, this premise is a little bit ridiculous, but in the same sense, you're like, well, it's a superhero film. You don't get too picky on premise. And then afterward, I was like, okay, I dig that for the special effects and everything. and then cue everyone else who was like, it was horrible. You know, I saw a lot of negativity about it. I was like, man, was that movie worse than I thought it was? Maybe. Yeah, there were certain parts. Yeah, for sure. It's like, couldn't you have come up with a better deal than that? Okay, whatever.
Okay.
I didn't watch it and go like, well, this is a waste of time. But
did you like number 1?
Yeah, I thought the first one was pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, yeah. I would recommend the first one, and then if you really enjoy it or the kids get into that one, then give the second one a try. They've already decided they're going to do a third one.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
They're like, hey, look, everybody watched it on HBO Max. And it was like, well, no one had any other options, really, so, you know. It's like word of mouth didn't really get out to destroy the movie, you know, so.
Oh, funny.
And who knows, some of the reviews, some of the headlines I saw, oh, yeah, it's a... you know, they basically indicated it was a fun action movie, you know, so.
Fun action movie.
But, yeah, Soul was really good. I enjoyed Soul quite a bit.
Have you seen the movie Inside Out?
I have not. You know, I was just going to point out that I have a pretty big backlog of Pixar films to watch. And Inside Out, I believe, is from the same director, right?
I was going to say, it's the same director, so I could tell while I was watching Soul, before it was confirmed to me who the director was, I said, I bet you this is Pete Docter because this is so reminiscent of Inside Out. And I loved Inside Out and the idea of Inside Out. Like when it first came out, it's way over my kids' heads, way over their heads about dealing with these emotions and each emotion is important. And the more we watched it in current times, like this last summer, we started to have bigger conversations about emotions. And, you know, mommy and daddy have lots of emotions, but we know how to express ourselves or communicate a little bit better than kids do. And Elliot goes, yeah, like when you slam things and cuss. I was like, exactly. That's exactly right. But you're not allowed to do that. So, but even just over the weekend, we had some conversations about big emotions. And so when we were watching Soul, I kept like watching their faces to see like if I could see a light bulb kind of go off a little bit or in conversations, but I think we'll get there. I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it, but with a name like Soul, I expected it to have more tear-jerking moments. And for someone who doesn't look forward to tear-jerking moments, I was very happy that I wasn't like sobbing in a puddle at the end of the movie. That's a good review, right?
Yeah, very. Have you thought about being a movie critic before, Kate? Considered an exciting new career as a movie critic? Side job, side hustle, of course.
Yeah, totally side. I don't have time for that full-time gig, but that's how I could review things. This will make you cry and this will not make you cry.
The Christ scale.
Yeah. But did you have expectations going in?
So I had no expectations going into it. I wasn't aware of the plot. I didn't know the voice cast either until after the movie. Like, apparently I wasn't paying attention to the credits or anything. And then after the movie, I was like, I need to look up on Wikipedia because a lot of those voices were familiar.
Yeah. There's some good voices in there.
Yeah, like Jamie Foxx. I didn't recognize that as... I was like, who is that voice?
It's a very dialed down Jamie Foxx. Like, Jamie Foxx has done other movies as voices, like Rio and Rio 2, that you immediately tell that's Jamie Foxx. I feel like this is a very subtle Jamie Foxx. So if people didn't know that ahead of time, it's not one of those moments where you go, that's totally Jamie Foxx. I get that. So
yeah, I could not place that Tina Fey's voice.
Really?
I could not figure that out. It's like, who is that?
And you don't do it while you're watching the movie. You wait till the end?
Briefly, I did.
Okay.
Briefly, well, what do you mean? Oh, stop and look up Wikipedia?
Oh, no, not a stop, but like while it's on, you just grab your phone.
Well, that's even worse. If you're going to do that, then you should pause the film. I was watching it by myself, which allows for such activities. But no, I was like, I wonder who that voice is. I'll look that up after the movie.
Oh, I can't get through the movie if it's driving me crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I grab the phone, IMDb. Huh. Yeah. And
interesting,
because several characters have the same name, it was really throwing me off. That I was like, I want to know who the woman is, though. Yeah. So I had a hard time with that yesterday during IMDb, because you go to Wikipedia, I go to IMDb.
Yeah, I do like that Wikipedia.
The old wiki.
IMDb, like I told you before, just feels unusable to me. I feel like I can never find the thing I'm looking for on there. Like, once upon a time, it used to be, I thought, one of the best sites on the internet. But that was probably around the time of dial-up. I don't know.
I thought you just don't go because you hate Amazon.
No, I just accuse Amazon of making it bad.
Okay.
I feel like they turned it into a service to get people to watch movies on specifically Amazon.
Oh.
And it just seems like ever since they got acquired by Amazon, whatever changes they've implemented just make it harder to discover what it is I'm looking for.
Okay.
Whether that's a cast member or what, I don't know. I just feel like things are buried on there.
IMDb also has a channel, too, that you can watch movies. I don't know if that means because I'm an Amazon Prime member that I can watch movies on IMDb. I don't do it through my phone or through the iPad, but it's, through the Fire Stick that we can watch some good movies on.
But it's like a channel where they're just constantly streaming the same video? Or it's on demand?
I guess on demand is probably a better description.
Oh, okay.
It's probably, yeah, by saying channel, it makes it sound like it's a cable channel, but it's like a streaming, like you pull up a movie and which way you want to watch this. Do you want to watch this on IMDb for free, or do you want to rent it for $4, or do you want to own it through Amazon Prime? So
yeah, all these companies have their own different jargon that's confusing. So
yeah. No, we've got a lot of videos in the old Amazon Prime account that I hope they never go anywhere.
Have we talked about Movies Anywhere before, by the way?
Movies Anywhere? I don't think so.
Yeah. I think this actually is a good opportunity to mention a service that I really like. So Movies Anywhere allows you to connect your various different account, like movie accounts together. So if you've bought things on Amazon and you've bought things on iTunes, or maybe even you've bought things through like YouTube or Google or so on and so forth, Voodoo. It will link all those together so that if you bought something on one platform, you can go, it basically shows up in your other library.
Oh, nice.
That way, if you have multiple, so like I have an Apple TV at home, but I also do have a Google Chromecast that I'm not currently using, but I can also stream videos through Xbox and PlayStation 2. And it's a good way to be able to get your content anywhere. Movies Anywhere is what it's called. So highly recommend to you, Kate, and any listener that's bought digital movies. And a Movies Anywhere is a great way to get your content across different devices. And it's also good if you've been hesitant to buy movies digitally.
Yeah. Because
of the whole lock-in thing. Like, well, I don't want to be potentially locked into Amazon or Apple or Google forever. Movies Anywhere can help move. It's basically as if you bought that film on those other services. It's pretty cool.
Oh, nice. I don't know that I've bought movies in multiple places. I think I'm just in Amazon.
Just on Amazon.
But good to know that that's not the only place that I can buy and keep.
Right.
Nice.
So, for example, you could link that up with your Apple accounts, and you'd be able to watch movies just using the native app that's built into the phone or an iPad or whatever.
Movies anywhere movies. Which one?
Movies Anywhere.
Movies Anywhere. Okay.
If you do a search of either one of those, it'll probably get you to the right spot. But yeah.
Okay.
Recommended service.
Thank you, Matt. That could be your side hustle.
What's that?
Letting us know, like giving reviews of your services that you enjoy and like.
Well, my main hustle is to talk about things.
Yeah.
So
how can you get paid for it, though, now?
So you can get some kind of an endorsement attached to it or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll let you work on that for me, Kate. Thanks.
Okay. I'll have my people start something for you.
Yeah.
Elliot's got some coveralls that are like Capris Coveralls. They're hot pink coveralls that fit her like 2 years ago. But when we had our first snow, he put them on her. He's like, it's better than nothing. And I'm like, her shins. I know she's got snow boots, but like she's exposed. So they are going to look for ski pants today. So.
Kate, with sketchy weather and because this is our first real kind of situation of the year so far, I think.
Right.
It's moments like they bring me back to being a kid and waiting like late at nights, like looking out the window, just staring out the window, waiting for bad weather to arrive. Like, oh, come on, get me out of school tomorrow. I always look forward to potentially being rescued with
watching the news.
Yeah, exactly. Rescued with a snow day. I'm like, come on, rescue me with a snow day. And then there would be moments like now, potentially, where like, well, what's this potential snow day being wasted right here on winter break?
Right.
And then on top of that, in these in-between times, a lot of people are fully homeschooled anyway, so...
Right. Snow days have a different meaning, I think.
Yeah. I loved snow days as a kid. I didn't hate school or anything like that, really. But I was always pleased to be relieved of it.
Right.
I don't know.
I liked snow days. I just don't remember getting snow days in grade school or high school. Yeah. I know in college, and maybe you remember this because we were in college about the same time, there's a horrible ice storm. It would have been my senior year of college, and St. Mary never closed. They never had snow days. They just never, because they had a lot of non-traditionals. And everybody lived on campus, essentially. Like, they just didn't shut down.
Oh, yeah, and KU never closed either. It was like, basically, hey, if the bus can make it up the hill, we're having school.
Right. So there was just a horrible ice storm, so they did close school for like 2 days because we lost power on and off. But I remember that snow day, but I don't remember a lot in high school or grade school. I mean, certainly we would have had to have snow days. We lived in Kansas, for crying out loud. But I'm with you. It's like, are they wasted?
You grew up in Topeka. I grew up in Overland Park,
yeah,
just outside Kansas City.
Yep.
And so pretty much used to the same weather as most of our listeners.
Yeah. So, but I'm with you, Matt, when they've got kids who are remote learning, and when you've got a big snow coming when they're not in school at all, you're like, oh man. I will say, as a grown-up though, snow days are not as fun when you still have to like go to your job.
Correct. Yeah, they're pretty obnoxious, actually.
Yeah.
Well, we were recently just talking about how it's like, okay, if there's going to be a white Christmas, happen over a 3-day weekend where we're not supposed to travel anywhere.
Right.
And then instead, winter weather threat shows up, like return to work times. Right. It's like, oh, come on. Even though I know a lot of people are still on vacation.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and a lot of people, they could, some schools have like a 2-hour delay because of the bus routes and stuff. So they could get to work a little late. It's not going to affect their job. We can't get to our job late, Matt.
Well, there are plenty of people who can't get to their job late either. If you're working retail, or there's just a lot of jobs that dictate that.
True.
If you work for MoDOT and you got to plow the roads, not only do you can't use.
Yes, no, you got to get there on time.
You got to show up early. So
yeah. That would be nice if we had one of those jobs. Like, well, I'll just get there at 10 o'clock after all the crazies have already hit the road. I'll just wait it out a little bit. Nah, be before the crazies.
You made a snowman anytime recently? Snow person, excuse me?
I don't know that my children have ever had the privilege of making a snowman person. I know. When they were really little, we had a lot of snow, and Monty made like a slide from our front porch. I mean, they were little, so it wasn't like a ginormous slide. This was easy for like a 2-year-old to ride on the sled. But we really didn't have a lot of snow to make snow people. It's weird that I'm saying snow people instead of snowman. Just throwing that out there.
I'm encouraging that.
Yeah.
Snow people.
Doesn't feel right.
Yeah, because you might have a whole snow family.
That's right.
You know? Like it's mailman, Kate? No. Mail person or postal employee.
Mail carrier.
Get it together. Mail carrier. Some mail carriers never leave their cars. Do you still call them carriers?
Yeah.
You do?
I do.
Okay. Well, never mind.
They never leave their cars, Matt. Never.
Make a whole snow family, a whole group of snow postal employees in their front yard. All right, Kate, have you made your New Year's resolutions yet?
I've definitely been thinking about them. I have not.
Or resolution.
I haven't.
Resolutions?
Mostly plural, but I haven't put anything down on paper yet to just be like, yep, this is happening. I've been kicking a few things around in my head. What about you?
No. And I believe we talked before how I think you should wait to do your New Year's resolution until spring arrives, just because nicer weather is more conducive to doing things. But then, of course, if you want a hot body for the summer, you might need to start on New Year's Day. So I don't know. Historically, I don't really do resolutions. No, I feel like I try to improve as a person throughout the year, but not really tied to the new year. Okay. You?
I've had some really successful New Year's resolutions in the last 5 years.
Okay, like what?
Losing weight, getting healthier, running more, running half marathons, something to measure your training, I guess, like not just running just for running, but running towards something, I guess. But last year, I really was just like not feeling it so much. And then it was like a preemptive of 2020. I was like, it doesn't matter what you were going to do. 2020 was going to be like, nah, not really. No. So
yeah, you got to waver. You got to pass.
Yeah. So I've had some really good years. Last year, I didn't so much, but I'm kicking around a few things this year that I'm like you. It's hard for me to do something when it's so dark and gloomy and
right.
Yeah.
Well, before we get into potential resolutions for the new year, the ones you've had in the past, because you'd mentioned like losing weight, for example, is a pretty generic thing. Is that actually a good resolution, or is it better to say, I'm going to only eat cake once a month or something? I'm doing this a horrible example, but you know what I mean? Like a specific, like you mentioned, a specific goal of running or something, like trying to do a 5K or half marathon or something like that.
I do believe that changing the vocabulary helps you with your resolutions immediately, because instead of saying, I am never going to eat cake again, you still allow yourself to have the cake, but instead of doing cake 3 times a week, you say once a month, or you know what I mean? I think figuring the right words and saying those words to yourself are important.
Right. Like I'm going to work out 3 times a week.
Right.
Something like that.
Right. Instead of I'm going to work out 7 days a week, or I'm going to work out every day of the week. Yeah. 3 days a week, I'm going to hit it hard. Yeah. I agree. And I think that when you say those things, not only does your brain hear them, but it is also a step into believing it. Like, it's something that you can do. You can give up cake 3 times a week and just do cake once a month, or work out 3 times a week. And yeah.
Well, previously when we talked about, I mentioned how if I'm going to have empty calories, I want them to be good.
Mm-hmm.
Spend them like, if someone's a really good cook, have their cake. If someone's not so much of a good cook, maybe have a bite to be nice.
Right.
But invest your empty calories wisely. And another way you could do that would be to say, well, don't ever buy ice cream at the store. You can only have it every, third Thursday at insert ice cream place here. Well, every third Thursday at Baskin-Robbins, DQ, or Cold Stone, wherever the place might be. Mm-hmm. Habits that you can get out of instead of, because once again, to me, you got something around the house, you're probably going to consume it.
Right.
And so to put those vices a little bit further away could be a way around that.
Right.
I don't know.
We did an ice cream sundae bar for Christmas.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to talk about that. How'd that go?
And it went great. I had all these little cute bowls and toppings, and I even saved some of the chocolate chip cookie dough to have little cookie dough balls if they wanted chocolate chip cookie dough in their ice cream. It was great. And then we used all the toppings, and I was like, okay, and now we're done. But then I still have this giant bucket of ice cream in my freezer. So it's like, well, we don't need all the toppings to still have the ice cream. So I'm with you. Like, if you don't buy this stuff, it was for something fun. And so I'm not trying to we made some memories. We talked about how we should have an ice cream sundae bar at every Christmas, and that was really fun. But I should not have bought a big old bucket.
What is it, like a 5-gallon or?
It's one of those buckets of ice cream.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I didn't want to buy a bunch of different ice creams. So I bought one bucket, and one side's chocolate and one side's vanilla. I'm like, oh, this will make everybody happy. Yeah.
Now there it is.
There it is. It's in the deep freeze, though. So I have to go down to the garage to get it. So there's
there you go.
that.
Yeah, that's some good friction. Yeah.
There's that. But, I mean, I'm also... If the kids want ice cream, that's great. The kids can have ice cream. I'm not that mean of a mom.
Right.
But now I'm
that's exactly what I was thinking.
I brought it up. I might as well have some.
Well, that's exactly what I was thinking as I was saying, here's what you do is, I'd mentioned this rule before also, it's a lot easier to control what's in the house as a single person with no roommates.
Right.
When you've got kids and the kids aren't obese or whatever, it's not really too nice to deny them something because you are trying to improve in a certain area.
Right. And, I had years where I could keep ice cream in the house and they could have ice cream and I could lick the spoon and I would be happy. Those days are gone.
Is that right? What happened, Kate?
Discipline is gone. I don't know. It was just life's too short. I'm not sure. But I used to be really good that I could keep that stuff, and I could keep potato chips in the house, and I'd keep them up really high, and yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing about both potato chips and ice cream is one literally melts, and the other one kind of figuratively melt. They kind of disappear when you eat them. It's like I can keep going.
Yes.
I can have more and more and more of this item.
Just 2 more chips. Yep. And 2 more chips is one more handful. Yeah. I love potato chips. Love it. Love it all. All the things that are bad. I love it.
So what's then on your radar for 2021 resolutions then, Kate?
I have not been as good about getting to the hot box.
Oh, yeah. We haven't talked about the hot box in a while. The workout place where there's 2 people to a room, unless it's non-pandemic times, and 3 people to a room sweating and basically a sauna to a workout video.
Right.
Okay.
And there's lots of different workouts. There's lots of different yoga and bar classes, and there's some cycling classes. And
so last time we talked about you were still fairly regular there.
Yeah, I was
dropped off.
Right before Thanksgiving, I was 5 times a week. And then after Thanksgiving, I think I went down to 3 times a week. And then when the kids got out of school, I didn't go at all. And then this week I've already gone twice. So trying to get back into it. Yeah. It also comes down to like, if I can get there, you know, before I pick the kids up from school, or even if I can get a class. There's been a couple of times where I've gone to book a class and they're already booked. So
yeah, holidays can be a great way to break good habits and potentially start unhealthy ones, but they can also go the other way and give you the opportunity to reset.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So I am hoping to either make more of the commitment to go 5 times a week, or I'm going to break up with it because I don't want to pay the money. So I don't want to be one of those people that have a gym membership for 12 months and doesn't ever go. It's like setting that money on fire. So
do you really appreciate the hot boxedness of it, the sauna type thing about it? Or?
I appreciate that in 15 minutes, I am drenched in sweat. That I know that I have put out a good workout in 15 minutes. And a lot of times I do 2 15-minute classes back to back. But if I can only get in one class, I know that I have really worked my little tail off.
There's moments where, and I've been accused of this, like of being contrary, to just be contrary, Kate.
No.
Like,
you?
Like you just don't want to do New Year's resolutions because a lot of other people are doing it and it's like a thing to do.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, kind of.
Exactly.
Kind of. And there's been times in the past where I'm like, oh man, I need to start getting back to the gym. I'm kind of in the mood. I want to go to the gym. And it's like, oh no, you can't go now because
everybody's there.
It's New Year's resolution time. And it's not just the fact that everyone's going to be there.
You just don't want them to think that you're there because of resolutions.
Exactly. See, we haven't been on this show too long together, but you figured me out, I think.
Picking up what you're putting down.
I think you've mostly figured me out. Yeah, too much concern over other people's judgment.
But you know, those other people don't know that you're new or just showing up. They could think that you've been...
Oh, the regulars do.
But do you know the regulars?
No, but that doesn't matter.
How do you know if the regulars aren't newbies?
Whoa. But I will know that amongst the noobs, there are regulars who are annoyed.
What if the regulars are avoiding those times because of the newbies? Oh, it's going to be awful because of all the newbies. So it's going to be all newbies.
I do get the impression those people exist for like, you know what, for the first 2 weeks in January, and maybe I'm being way too generous but for those 2 weeks in January, I'm going to go ahead and do body weight workouts at home instead.
Yeah, or they change the time because newbies like to go like in those high frequency times. So the regulars have to change up their routine because there's all those people there. Yep.
And then I start thinking about, because I've gone back and forth over the course of my life, going to the gym versus working out at home instead, is there's always the deal. It's like, okay, you go to the gym, then you're forcing yourself to potentially do this task. So you develop this habit. I go to the gym on Wednesdays or whatever your days might be. And I, once again, do think that the idea of go to the gym, maintain the habit of going to the gym, even if it means you're working out for 5 minutes and leaving, is a good way to maintain. Whereas if you're at home, it's easy to put off that workout and say, I'll do that an hour from now or 2 hours. I can do that any point in time.
Right.
In the same sense, you can also say, well, if I go to the gym, then I gotta have appropriate gym wear to wear amongst other people, and then have that prepared, and then make the drive or the walk or whatever your travel to your gym is. You know, so
that is why I worked out at home all those years. I got a treadmill, I got weights, and I worked out before the kids woke up. I could shower before the kids woke up. There was no excuse. But I found that if I missed my morning workout, I would find every excuse not to get it in between, like picking up from school and making dinner. Like there was just too much in between school and dinner that I couldn't get a good workout in. So I was so good about working out from home. I had all these workout videos that I could do at home. I didn't have to travel. I didn't have to wake up the kids because Monty was always gone by then. Working out at home was a really, really good thing for me for a long time. And then it wasn't. And then there were other things going on in our life that I was just like, why am I killing myself at 4:30 in the morning every morning? So
Now, what about the more recent like digital workout craze? I know you mentioned videos in the past, but now I think Peloton's probably the biggest one out there.
Beachbody.
Beachbody?
Beachbody is huge because you don't have to have any equipment. Some yoga mat and maybe some hand weights, but Beachbody you can pull up on your iPad, on your phone, on your TV, anywhere. That's a big one. And they were giving out so many of those free memberships. That's a fantastic membership, by the way. I think so. But I needed something different. So. And
then, Peloton, that's more on the high end. Their equipment's really costly, and then you pay your monthly subscription.
Yeah.
And then Apple's gotten into it now. They've got their new service, Apple Fitness Plus, maybe what it's called.
Okay.
Some really compelling name like that. And the idea with that one is you're working out when you've got your watch on, so it'll like superimpose your heart rate over the TV or your iPad or whatever you're working out with.
Yeah.
And so that just started up, and I think more than anything, that just indicates that they think that's an area where there's a lot of profit to be made. And I know a lot of people have done digital workouts with their traditional fitness instructor, during the pandemic. So
yeah, that was big.
But so any of that appeal to you at all? Because you do have kind of a little bit more of a one-to-one connection with people when there is that kind of it's just one step further. Maybe it's like video, like working out with a VHS tape, but add just a little bit more interaction to it.
Maybe. I know that there are people who enjoy that. I kind of want to put my head down and go. And now I do have a friend that I do the hot box with every now and then. And she can talk through these workouts. I cannot talk through those workouts. So I do a lot of listening during these workouts and like, yeah. And I don't mind going with somebody else, but I also like to just go and put my head down and get it done. So
yeah, you don't find it's especially helpful to be accountable to somebody?
Right. I
Depends
mean,
on the
it
person.
does.
Yeah.
It does because I told her I would be at that class, so I'm going to get that class. You know what I mean? It also helps me that I have to sign up for these classes, meaning if I sign up for it, that somebody else can't take that class. So I need to go because I need to make it so that I'm not just kicking somebody out just to kick somebody out. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because you're paying regardless. You're paying a monthly fee, but you just sign up for the classes you want to do day to day.
Right. And I think it's because of the pandemic. Maybe not because of the pandemic, because, I mean, they've only got 3 spots in each. But in the pandemic, you can only use 2 of the 3 spots. So,
right.
Yeah, I don't want to waste
I guess the question would be, before, is it harder to get a class now than it was a year ago?
Maybe, because there's only 2 versus 3 spots. I don't know. I haven't been doing it that long.
Okay.
August?
Just curious if their natural level of traffic actually allows it to not be too disruptive. But
yeah. And the times I prefer to go earlier versus later, but it's never like swamped. And I know that there are times that they are really busy, but there's been a couple of times where I can't get the times that I want, but not that often.
Well, that's very thoughtful of you, Kate. You don't want to deny other people their resolution attempts or whatever.
Right. If I'm going to sign up for it, don't waste your space. Get in there, get out. Come on.
So there you go. That's Matt and Kate's New Year's resolution tips. Hopefully there was something in there of some kind of value. If not, well,
baby steps.
I'm not surprised.
I'm just going to say baby steps. Don't expect your resolution to happen overnight, and don't beat yourself up if it doesn't happen overnight. And like you said, Matt, just going for the 5 minutes, even if you're only there for 5 minutes, you've made that commitment. So give yourself some grace. That's my resolutions.
There you go.
Advice.